From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Wednesday, August 13th. Here are today's headlines. A Hamas delegation was in Cairo on Tuesday to discuss a, quote, comprehensive, unquote, deal to end the Gaza war. The talks also aim to secure the release of hostages held by the militant group. But Israel's plan to reoccupy Gaza, approved last week by its security cabinet, could impact those negotiations.
Last Thursday, Israel's security cabinet, instructed the IDF to dismantle the two remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps. Contrary to false claims, this is the best way to end the war and the best way to end it speedily.
The National's Hamza Hendawi reports from Cairo.
Israel's declared plan to reoccupy Gaza is casting a dark shadow on the discussions in Egypt, with sources telling the National that both negotiators and mediators are entertaining little hope that their outcome could persuade Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government to change course.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he didn't believe Hamas would release Israeli hostages unless the situation on the ground in Gaza changed. That's according to a report from American news site Axios. Trump stopped short of directly endorsing Israel's plan to expand its military offensive in Gaza, but he said he agreed with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's argument that more military pressure on Hamas was required.
The sources that spoke to the National on Tuesday outlined the main points of the proposed deal that's being discussed in Cairo. They said it provides for the release of all 50 hostages still held by Hamas and for Palestinians detained in Israeli prisons. Also covered are the laying down and storage of Hamas's weapons under international supervision, the governance of post-war Gaza, and reconstruction. Also on the table is the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza.
The U.S. is offering incentives to Syria's government to keep it away from conflict with minorities. Sectarian violence in the south of Syria between loyalist Sunni forces and the Druze minority has threatened to undermine an alliance with the U.S. But sources in Amman told The National that the U.S. has offered to form an international coalition to support Syria's recovery and reconstruction in return for domestic political concessions.
A weeks-long conflict in southern Syria continues to have regional repercussions and is affecting the relations between the United States and the new order in Damascus.
The National's Khaled Yacoub Oweis is here with more.
In particular, the United States would like to see a more inclusive Syrian government, particularly the security forces, who are entirely Sunni or comprised of Sunni, members of the Sunni majority in the country. This has contributed to the tension with minorities and fears among minorities such as Druze and Kurds of a Sunni overreach. Also, the United States would like to see more representation in higher ranks in government from minorities.
U.S. Special Envoy Thomas Barrack met the foreign ministers of Jordan and Syria in Amman on Tuesday to discuss ways to support the process of rebuilding Syria after years of civil war. Attending the meeting were Jordan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi and Syria's Foreign Minister Asad al-Shaybani. They spoke about supporting Syria's post-war reconstruction and, quote, ensuring its security, stability, and sovereignty, unquote. That's according to the Jordanian Foreign Ministry.
Jordan is a country at the periphery of southern Syria and has an interest in stabilization in the area. The conflict in Suwaida has drawn Israeli intervention. At the same time, Turkey has troops in Syria, and Turkey is a main backer of the current government in Damascus. It is not yet clear how Damascus will respond, but stabilization is in the interest of all parties in Syria.
Libyan military leader Khalifa Haftar has appointed his son as his second-in-command. It's a move described to be part of plans to enhance the capabilities of his forces. His son, Lieutenant General Saddam Haftar, will become deputy commander-in-chief. That's according to the administration that controls much of Libya's east. Libya is divided between two governments, with the UN-recognized authorities in Tripoli, led by Prime Minister Abdelhamid Dbeibeh, and the rival administration in the east, supported by Field Marshal Khalifa Haftar. Both claim the right to lead the country. The new deputy commander, who served in senior military positions in recent years, is expected to play a central role in overseeing key operational priorities, according to the Eastern Administration. Libya has seen little stability since a 2011 NATO-backed uprising ousted longtime autocrat Muammar Gaddafi. The split in 2014 between rival Eastern and Western factions intensified hostilities, although a truce in 2020 eased the fighting. Last month, U.S. President Donald Trump's senior advisor for Africa, Masad Boulos, met Haftar and other officials in Benghazi. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow more of our live coverage at our site, thenationalnews.com. Yasmin Altaji, The National.